Good evening. I'm Joshua Buckingham, here with the news, and my partner, Todd Belmont. Tonight, we're going to be discussing one of the largest growing issues in our nation, pesticides. Pesticides are any substance or mixture of substances used for preventing, destroying, or repelling any pest. Now, just what kind of pests are we talking about here? Well, some examples are weeds, insects, animals, plant diseases, and rodents. Pesticides are usually divided into three main categories. The first is herbicides. These are pesticides used to control weeds. Insecticides. They are chemicals used to control insects. And fungicides. They are chemicals used to control diseases caused by fungi. And now to Todd with the pros and cons of pesticide use. Todd?
Thank you, Joshua. By their nature, pesticides produce many harmful effects. At the same time, they are useful for society. They're very cost efficient for farmers and kill pests as fast as lightning. However, do these benefits outweigh the risks? Not only are pesticides harmful to humans, pets, and wildlife, but also they cause environmental pollution in soil, water, and air. In addition, pesticides may kill beneficial species, such as the bee, which could pollinate crops. Also, pesticides may hurt the plant that the farmer is trying to preserve. Finally, at your local organic grocery store, you could buy crops which contain pesticide residue.
How disgusting is that? Todd?
Very disgusting. Back to you, Josh. Ooh-ah.
As we continue this discussion on pesticides, we will now carry the story over to our field correspondent, Chaz Michael Michaels. Chaz?
Thank you, Joshua. The history of pesticides is very boring. Non-chemical uses of pest control can be more effective and longer-lasting, and are also less harmful to humans and the environment. Biopesticides are pesticides that are low in toxicity and thus safer for the environment. Crops genetically engineered to resist pests are another good alternative. Integrated Pest Management, or IPM, uses 3 different pest control tactics: biological, chemical, and cultural, for long-term results without disrupting the environment.
Earlier today, I got the chance to interview an employee at Briggs Nursery in North Attleboro. Now back to you, Josh.
Thank you, Todd, for the interview. It was astounding and truly blew my mind. Now we will be moving on to pesticides' effects on humans. We're all human, right? Me, you, we're all human, right? Right? So, pesticides, they have the biggest effect on children. Why is that, you ask? Well, children are more vulnerable to harmful effects of chemical pollutants because they take in more air relative to their lung size than we do as adults. Because their little lungs are so small, pesticides may fill up their lungs and cause problems. Pesticides have also been linked to hematopoietic cancer. What that is, we don't know, as well as prostate, pancreas, and other types of cancer. In addition, pesticide involvement in breast cancer has not yet been determined. However, there is one thing that has been determined. Pesticides can have maternal involvement, and thus the mother may damage the fetus with the pesticide use. If the mother is involved in farm work, then she may transfer harmful pesticide chemicals to her little unborn fetus. Also, the safety, well, let's discuss the safety of pesticides. Quite frankly, with all of these safety risk factors, one can only ask, Are pesticides even safe? And the answer is no. But we can give them some justification here. Now, the safety of the pesticide, it depends on how the pesticide is being used. Now, some pesticides are also more hazardous than others. The hazard may become getting from indigestion, or getting substance to the skin or eyes, or inhaling it. That's it. Now to Chaz, who will tastefully display household items containing pesticides and also show alternatives to pesticide use. Chaz?
Thank you, Joshua. Chaz, Michaels here with the BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation, here to talk to you about pesticides, household products, and alternatives to these dangerous chemicals. Here in the garden, in which you plant vegetables for your family to eat, week after week, pesticides are used, such as rain and rosin flower insect killer, to control unwanted pests. Here in the laundry room, where you wash your family's soiled and tethered clothes, week after week, you use these common detergents which contain pesticides. Clorox bleach. Shout with 36% more. And Shout triple acting with the #1 stain remover. Here in the kitchen, where the wife spends her entire life doing agonizing work week after week, we find more pesticides, like Lysol, antibacterial kitchen cleaner with bonus 45%, and WD-40, 50 years of excellence. And Soft Scrub Lemon Cleanser cuts through grease and soap scum without harsh scratching. And Greased Lightning. And here in the swimming pool, where your family congregates week after week for a good time in the fun pool, you use pesticides to keep it fresh and clean. Here we see a spider inhibiting and attacking my tree on my yard. Let's see how it reacts to pesticides. It seems to have been quite effective. There we have rose and flower. Oh my god! We are witnessing two bushes preparing for an epic melee, a struggle for life and death as we know it, for natural resources and their environment.
Country. Thank you, Chaz, for that insightful peek into the use of household pesticides and also alternatives for using them. Now, we bring our segment to a close, and we ask you the question, has our segment on pesticides influenced you, the viewer? If you currently use pesticides, will you continue? Do you favor the cute little bees cheerily flying around, freely pollinating the moist and fertile plants? Or pesticides? Do you favor the widespread of sickness and the destruction of the human race? Or pesticides? Because in God's great domain, which we call Earth, few things surpass the grandness of the moist, supple skin of an undefiled fetus. With that in mind, we will close our segment, and we hope that you, the viewer, can question yourself and say, should I really be using pesticides? Alright, and it has been a Josh Buckingham news production, and I hope you, the viewer, have yourself a good one.